Hello and welcome back to Minecraft All the Mods 10. There is one item stopping us from crafting the All-the-Modium Star. And that is the loot bag from Eternal Starlight. That's stopping us from making the runic altar. But in today's episode, we're going to acquire it. And how are we going to acquire it? By heading on over to a village that I found a very, very long time ago, which has a little portal next to it. That we need to go speak to the guy at that portal. Now, sometimes he might ask you to fight him, or in my case, I got pretty lucky and he just gave it to me. Now, it took me a while to figure out how to activate this portal, and the reason being for that was because there was actually some vines actually within the portal mechanism itself. You need to make sure the actual portal, the internal works of the portal is actually clear, and once you've done that, you just simply right-click on any of the blocks within that portal and it will activate. Now, once this thing has activated, we'll spawn into this dimension. Now, this dimension has two bosses that I want to fight. It has many armors I want to start collecting. It has many blocks that I might want to use in the future. But the two main things I want to start with is finding these two bosses, because these two bosses will actually drop you the loot bag. You can fight either of them and they'll drop you the loot bag, but I want to fight both of them so we can say that we have fought both of them. And whilst we're trying to find these bosses, this dimension is constantly in dusk. There is no way to change that whatsoever. And this dimension is actually beautiful. I really like this dimension. I think some of the trees and the biomes are just brilliant. I love the way they look. And you know, while we're here, we might as well collect a lot of resources that we won't have access to unless we end up coming back here. So I went straight into the mines, managed to get some ores that are exclusive to this dimension. We mined some grimstone that is exclusive to this dimension. Now, when it comes to finding the two boss structures, one is underground, so we actually end up running into that one first. And that is the golem. Now, this golem dungeon, as we're walking around, is absolutely gorgeous. I love some of the blocks. I love it, especially the one with the blue in it. That is my favorite block, and we will definitely be using that in the future. However, I don't want to fight this boss right now. I want to keep exploring, and I want to find the other boss location. And then we went back up to the surface and started mining some of the local trees in the area. Because again, we might want to use these in the future for future buildings. So as we keep exploring and we keep gathering materials, we are taking a whole bunch of quests off in this quest book. Now, of course, we could use the Explorer's Compass and find these boss dungeons with that. But I would like to try and find them naturally, because we get the natural progression of exploration and we'll find new biomes that we haven't seen before, collecting a load more resources that we might not have seen before and things like that. Again, we've got an ME storage system that is not being used to its full potential at the minute. I want to start throwing some items that we cannot get in the overworld in our ME system. So any items we get from this dimension right here will be going straight into our ME system. Now, after about 20 to 30 minutes of searching for this one dungeon for the lunar monstrosity, we couldn't find it, so we do actually end up going with the Explorer's Compass. Now, what is it we're actually looking for? We're actually looking for a place called the Cursed Garden. Now, this is a maze-like structure, and of course, we could simply just fly over the walls. Now, I'm not going to do that. I want to do this through natural progression. And I'll be honest, I kind of smashed it in one. It was fairly simple to get through. There is loot throughout this maze, of course, so I will be going back through at some point to collect all of the chests. And when we actually made it to the lunar monstrosity itself, we tried to fight it organically with our sword, and we were practically doing 1 damage per hit, and that is just not it. Even with our All-the-Modium alloy blade, that was not it. The actual way you have to fight this thing, and the proper way you want to get through and do damage to this thing, is by burning it. So when you burn it and then hit it with your sword, it will do a hell of a lot more damage. And of course, that's what I want. That's what I went and did. Once we had killed the Lunar Monstrosity, it did actually end up dropping a loot bag, and we managed to get 2. So we actually opened one, and it gave us a whole load of items. A bow, teleportation things, a load of arrows, and some Eternal Starlight exclusive blocks and trinkets and things like that we will happily throw in our ME system. Now, once we had done that, we had a spare one, which we were going to throw away in our ME system, which we are going to use for making the runic altar at some point. Once we had cleared our inventory, it was time to leave this place. But first, I ain't leaving without doing a whole bird's eye view and robbing any of the loot chests that we had left behind. Once that was done, it was on to finding the golem. Now, of course, we'd already found one of these golems. However, when fighting this guy, he was pretty annoying. Because you can't just go up to him and start smacking him like any other boss fight. You've got to power him down by right-clicking on the blocks that are glowing and have like a beam going towards him. You got to right-click those, turn those off, and then you can start attacking him. But you only can do that within a short period of time. And then he goes back into like a shell where you can't hit him, and you got to do this 3, 4, maybe 5 times, and it's just long. He does have some really cool attacks, though. Very unique attacks. Laser beams coming out of his face. Slams all the blocks at you. And it is pretty cool. Pretty creative. I like it. And once he was dead, it was over to the trophy room. Why is that? Because we have a couple of sets of armor that we could add there. And we've also got a couple of trophies that we could add. And as far as the armors go, we could add the Armor Amber set, which is only 2 pieces, which is a chest plate and a helmet. And we could add the Thermal Springstone set, which on the armor stand looks really cool. And then it was on to the trophies, which we have to put the trophies up on the next floor because we filled the whole bottom floor. And once that was done, it was back in the Eternal Starlight dimension because there were some sets that we could get, like the Swamp Silver and the Starlit Diamond set. And once we'd finally achieved those by 1, going in the mines, and 2, by looting the Lunar Monstrosity arena, or even finding a swamp and mining it there, we could then make the sets and throw them into our trophy room. And with that being said, that's going to do us for today's episode. We've added a few sets, we've added some trophies, we've killed some bosses, we've collected some items that we need to progress in the series. That's going to do us for today's episode, so thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Goodbye.